Each year, the World Intellectual Property Organization celebrates World IP Day all around the world. This is a celebration of the creativity and innovation happening across the globe and the intellectual property system that protects the creations of authors and inventors and their investment in producing the quality goods and services on which consumers can rely. As World IP Day approached, we at the USPTO thought a lot about digital creativity and IP. And while there are so many forms of digital creativity, we focused on one that captured our imagination: video games, since they incorporate so many types of IP.
So the video we decided to do for this year's World IP Day is to take off of our theme, which is digital creativity. And we decided to focus on video games. So in talking about how we could promote and market the piece, we thought, hey, let's do an animation, a short 30-second one that we could put up on social media and make it look like an old video game. When we were thinking about doing video games, we obviously wanted to harken back to the original video games that we all remember from when we were kids. So the 8-bit look was what we were going for. But I think we got a good mix of, you know, being able to see what it is visually, but also have that 8-bit look, and I think it's really going to remind people of their favorite video games from when they were young.
Ralph Baer, he's really considered by most to be the father of the video game, the original video game. He was the first one that took the concept of taking a game and applying it to something that back in the late 60s, early 70s, most people had in their home, and that was the television set. Before that, games were board games, Monopoly, things of that nature, but he really took it a step farther. He said, hey, you know what? People have this TV at home. Wouldn't it be great if we created an environment where everyone can sit down, a family, children, and kind of immerse themselves into a new world? Make a game not just by moving pieces around on a board, but something that they can take and sit around the TV and play this game and immerse themselves in a new reality, a new world.
At the time that Pac-Man was released into the American arcade, environment, most of the games were about war. Missile command and asteroids and space invaders. It was this attack and kind of military themed sort of games that were there. So here comes this brightly colored, Pac-Man character who comes into this arcade, and it's brightly colored, and all of a sudden you have women coming into arcades. All of a sudden you have children coming into arcades. You had character-based games that then saw the creation of all sorts of games that were similar. Mappy and Pengo and all these sorts of games followed, because now artists understood that it was okay to create these games with mascots. And so each one of those games changed the industry and society in the era in which they were introduced. And it changed sociologically the makeup of arcades, which were, again, predominantly male, predominantly aggressive sorts of games.
There's a lot of time and effort and creativity involved in designing, producing, and distributing video games. There are the code behind the games itself. There's the music that you'll get separate musicians who will compose the music. You'll get the artists and designers who will create the box art and the labeling. So there's a lot of time and effort that's put into that, and you want to be able to reward the people for their creativity. They've created something new and novel and exciting. So intellectual property is an extremely important way where we can protect those rights of the people that create, and so they're continue to be inspired to make more and to profit from what they've worked so hard for.
At the USPTO, we have registered millions of trademarks for foreign and domestic applicants over the years. Video game companies like Nintendo and Tecmo have registered their company names as trademarks for video game programs and cartridges back in the early 1990s. More recently, many video game companies are registering marks to be used to identify online gaming platforms as both companies and gaming evolves into new and innovative ways.
I think one thing that's helped me out through my career from playing video games is learning how to fail safely and successfully. I think today we're so immersed in wanting to get things right the first time and not giving ourselves a chance to fail.
Any innovator will tell you that failure is critical to innovation. Recovering and learning from failure is often what leads to new ideas and new inventions.
Well, in video games, you have that chance to kind of fail and then go back and problem solve because you want to solve that puzzle. You want to beat that level. You want to get that sword that's at the end of the tunnel. So video games provide us with a safe place to problem solve and eventually succeed.
The digital age has changed how we make and create, how we collaborate, even how we entertain ourselves. Increasingly, we can access content from creators across the world, wherever, whenever, and however we want. But with that increased access comes challenges for creators and innovators to retain the benefits of their investments in time and energy to create goods and services that entertain us all. This year's World IP Day explores some of the issues surrounding our increasingly digital culture. After going behind the scenes with the makers and creators at the USPTO and hearing from those involved in protecting the intellectual property related to video games, we hope you learned a bit about the intellectual property system that protects artists and creative industries in our digital world so that they can keep on creating.